Today marks 4 years since the US release of Paramount Pictures' Sonic the Hedgehog, and really? 4 years? Wow, the time flew. Although we were locked indoors for a while there. Anyway, originally started in 2013 with Sony having the rights to produce the film, it wasn't until 2017, where Paramount acquired the rights, that real progress started happening. And after some really poor choices and course correction, the movie was released and made some serious bank. I really didn't pay any attention to the production of the film until the ugly Sonic debacle started appearing everywhere. But before that, I thought, oh, it's just gonna be another video game movie. Nothing to bother with. I mean, I know I'm not the first person to say this, but god damn, look at him! However, a few days after the teaser trailer dropped, Paramount announced that they would be making changes to Sonic's design. I thought, alright, cool, let's see what they do. I mean, it can't be worse than this. And on November 12th, 2019, we got our first look at the new Sonic, and wow, it looked really good. I wasn't concerned over things like his eyes being separated or his arms and legs being blue. To me, I just saw it and thought, yep, that's Sonic alright. Because Paramount went through the process of changing the design and delaying the movie, I felt, you know what, I'll go see it. Show support to a company that took criticism and tried to make it right. So me, my buddy Richie, and some other friends went out to see the film for ourselves. Not knowing it would be our last film in theaters for almost 2 years. And what did I think of it? It was a fun family movie. Kids could enjoy the film whether they knew the Sonic series or not, and parents had a few things to enjoy, like Jim Carrey. It was a standard buddy adventure with funny shenanigans and a little action sprinkled in. While a little light on things from the actual games, I did leave the theater pleased with the final product. Clearly, I wasn't alone with enjoying this film, as it made around $319 million in the box office, and led to the creation of a sequel, a soon-to-be-released Knuckles Paramount Plus show, and a third movie releasing this December. But after 4 years and the second movie already coming and going, I wanted to take a look back at the first movie that started it all, and see if my thoughts on the film changed in any way. Honestly, I actually never seen the movie since seeing it in theaters, so it'll be fun to see if the film still holds up. So I grabbed Richie again to rewatch the movie, but before talking about it, I should talk more about the production of the film and the changes they made. I know I already mentioned the ugly Sonic design, but this, along with the feel of the original teaser trailer, started the film's marketing on the wrong foot. We see this humanoid creature with white fur on his hands that's supposed to resemble Sonic's gloves, then to him jumping in place ready to start running with Gangster's Paradise in the background. The human-like legs with muscles shown look so creepy, and if this wasn't changed, I wouldn't be surprised children having nightmares of this thing. The only saving grace was that it seemed like Jim Carrey was gonna be good in the film, although even he didn't resemble Eggman in the teaser. Well, not until the last few seconds, that is. In what looked like a weird form of damage control, like, hey, don't worry guys, he'll look like Eggman in the movie, relax. Others complained about Gangster's Paradise, saying it didn't fit with the character of Sonic, like the pop upbeat music of the classic era or the rock music of the modern era. The teaser was a mess, and the fact that they stepped back to redo the design and correct the film is commendable. Some say it was all a marketing stunt, that they always planned to have the better design for the film, and the ugly one was used only to grab everyone's attention. However, I'm on the side of them really using the ugly design, as looking at the toys released alongside the movie, they all have ugly Sonic, since they were already produced beforehand and they couldn't make any updated versions of them. They delayed the movie and spent the money needed to fix Sonic, and I felt it was the smart choice. Obviously. Sonic looks more pleasing to the eye, and something both kids and parents can enjoy looking at for an hour and a half long movie. Not to mention it made people like me who disliked the design and saw them change it think, you know what, I'll go see the movie now. So while the production had a little extra work to handle before release, it was the right call to do. So with that said, let's talk about the film. The movie starts off with a chase scene between Sonic, played by Ben Schwartz, and Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey. In the middle of the chase, Sonic starts narrating about all the many questions we, the viewer, would have about being dropped right in the middle of all this. From here, we are sent all the way back to when Sonic was a little kid, running around Green Hill Zone in his world. This is where the movie most resembles the actual games. Well, at least the Genesis games. The chase scene in San Francisco did give off an Adventure 2 vibe. As Sonic is running through loop-de-loops and across bridges, we also get Friends by Hyper Potion played in the background, which, if you don't know, is a song from the opening of Sonic Mania. I feel this was a good way to open the film. Scenery and music resembling the games show that the people behind the film do care about the world and characters, even though they fumbled a bit with the original Sonic design. Next, we're introduced to Longclaw, Sonic's guardian, who's worried about Sonic running around and using his powers and how it may attract dangerous foes to them. Sonic thinks they're fine since he's just so fast, only to almost get hit by an arrow as an Echidna tribe followed him home. During their escape, Longclaw is hit and tells Sonic to escape to Earth, with her remaining there to keep them from pursuing. Before leaving, Longclaw warns Sonic about using his powers and that people will always be after it. Sonic runs through the portal, it closes, and we get the title. From there, Sonic hides away in Green Hills, Montana, and grows up observing the townspeople and tries to be a member of the town, watching baseball games, movie nights, yoga, and messing with Crazy Carl. Here we also see that this version of Sonic is more kid-like, where in the games, he's more of a teenager. Big on pop culture, messing around and having fun is what he does, without the attitude like the old school cartoon version, for example, had. Some people may have issues with it, but to me, we have classic Sonic, modern Sonic, Boom Sonic, X Sonic, Sad AM Sonic, and the comics, for example. So them changing up Sonic now isn't that much of an issue for me, as I've seen them do it before. As Sonic narrates his life on Earth, he mentions that even though he loves living there, being hidden away and not actually able to interact with the people shows how isolated and alone he really feels. We also meet Tom Wachowski? Donut Lord. We also meet Tom Wachowski, or as Sonic nicknamed him, Donut Lord, played by James Marsden, who is a cop in Green Hills that wishes to be a real cop in San Francisco, to feel like he's making a real difference, which is flat out told us by him and his wife Maddie, or Pretzel Lady as Sonic nicknamed her, after getting the acceptance letter in the mail. Something you'll notice is the film is going super Sonic with the plot points at the start, in order to get the essential stuff out of the way so we can get to the main plot of the film. We're shown Sonic's powers, people wanting it, the dangers of using it, and being told to be careful around people, thus causing him to isolate himself on Earth, only observing the people of Green Hills and taking items back to his cave to mess around with. Then, transitioning over to the Wachowskis, we are told Tom's dreams and ambitions, and while happy for the new job, they're second guessing on what to do, in which Maddie lists off things he's done for her and why he should go for it. It feels very quick, and while some people may find issue with it, others may not since they just want this stuff out of the way so they can get to the real action. After Sonic freaks out, setting off his powers and making the power go out all across the United States, the government sends out the military and Dr. Robotnik to investigate. Here we see many people's favorite aspect of the film shine, Jim Carrey as Robotnik. I grew up with movies like The Grinch and The Mask, and Carrey hasn't lost his talent. He looks like he's having fun with the role, and most of the laughs I had with this film came from him. I can't think of anyone else to play Eggman as well or as unique as Jim Carrey. Realizing that he's almost caught, Sonic grabs his things in an attempt to leave Earth to go to a world of mushrooms. Some will say this is a Mario reference, others will say it's just Mushroom Hills. Either way, mushrooms. Using Tom's garage to open the portal, Tom hears Sonic break in and goes to investigate, leading to the scene from the trailers where both Tom and Sonic scream in fear of each other. After hitting Sonic with a tranq dart, the portal opens to San Francisco due to Sonic seeing Tom's t-shirt. Accidentally drops the rings into the portal, thus leading to the main journey of Tom and Sonic traveling to San Francisco to reclaim the bag of rings so Sonic can leave Earth. While Robotnik attempts to track the duo down, Tom and Sonic get to know each other and develop a bond during the last few days Sonic has on Earth. Robotnik will have funny interactions with his assistant Agent Stone, while Sonic and Tom will be partying at a bar or doing their own version of the Quicksilver slow motion scene from X-Men. Later on during the trip, you'll have the standard movie trope of Sonic being mad at Tom for leaving Green Hill for another job, and Tom not seeing the harm with leaving. It's typical in movies, and honestly, it doesn't feel necessary here. Sonic gets really mad at him for leaving, and while he's not wrong for saying the people in town rely and appreciate Tom, Tom also isn't wrong for wanting to do more with his life, wanting to leave his hometown to do something he feels can help make a real difference. It's just here to have a conflict between the two of them, which really doesn't go anywhere because Robotnik attacks and a chase scene occurs. After destroying the mech bit by bit, also a little bit of flossing, it blows up and knocks out Sonic. Finally reaching San Francisco, Tom stops by his sister-in-law's house to get Maddie's help with the injured Sonic. Here we get some downtime, Maddie joins in to help, and Tom's niece JoJo gives Sonic his iconic red shoes. While all this is happening, Robotnik uses one of Sonic's quills to power up his newest weapon for the next fight, which is fast approaching. As once Sonic recovers, they reach the top of the building, Tom and Sonic apologize for fighting, and Sonic throws his ring to leave, which only hits a Badnik, stopping him from leaving. From here, we end up right where we started, with Robotnik chasing Sonic across the city to capture him. Unable to outchase Eggman, now that he's using Sonic's power against him, Sonic proceeds to use rings to teleport across the globe in hopes to escape him. We get some nice shots of Sonic running in locations similar to the games, like Sonic Unleashed with Egypt and China, but in the end, Sonic ends up back in Green Hills, Montana. Being beaten up, Robotnik is about to capture Sonic, when Tom gets on the ship and attacks him, which does nothing, but leads into Tom giving a friendship speech about Sonic that wakes him up and gets him ready for the final battle. Sonic takes his powers back from Robotnik's machine and starts attacking him, ending with Sonic hitting Robotnik through a portal to the Mushroom Planet, trapping him forever. The final battle itself was very small in scope, with Eggman being what's the equivalent of his Eggmobile, but the chase prior makes up for the fight itself. It felt like the first boss in Sonic 1, nothing big in terms of scale, and all it takes is a few hits to the machine to take Eggman down. With Eggman defeated, Sonic decides to stay on Earth with the people of Green Hills. The government disregards all involvement of the incident and Eggman, and leave Tom and Maddie be after they deny seeing Sonic at all after the incident. Which is a big fat lie, as at the end, the Wachowskis move Sonic into their attic and welcomes him into their family. After some flossing and a nice shot of the new family together, the camera pans up and credits roll. Well, not before an end credits scene where Robotnik is alive on the Mushroom Planet and claims he'll be home by Christmas. At least he has Agent Stone too. Also later on in the credits, we see Tails showing up, voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy, which was a nice surprise. At least this post-credit scene actually led to something, since the film did well, unlike other films that promise future films only to be cancelled. In terms of overall plot, the film is a standard buddy adventure. Outside the opening and small references, it's very light on the Sonic aspect, considering the movie is called Sonic the Hedgehog. But besides seeing you miss it references like Sonic, the Master Emerald, and zone names, the movie is just Sonic on plain old Earth. Plot points are formulaic with tropes like the duo getting mad at each other, and it's a road trip movie with a CGI creature. Not to mention the film can feel dated at times with references like Amazon delivery drones, flossing, and Fast and the Furious. Now that I think about it, there's a speed reference. I don't know any kid that will know that movie. That all being said, after rewatching the film, I don't think my opinion changed much at all. While yes, plot points do feel rushed at points, for the hour and a half they have to get everything across, the film turned out fine. You get to know this version of Sonic and the people around him, and everyone did get at least a little chuckle out of me by the end of the film. Regarding the CGI, Sonic looked great. Most of the time, I never really noticed anything that would take me out of the film to say, oh, he's not really there. I say most of the time for only 2 moments, because when you see Tom carrying Sonic, it is clear that his proportions were the original Sonic model, being so thin in Tom's arms. It's not really noticeable as they're leaving Tom's home, but when Sonic is underneath a towel later on, he looks so small underneath it, like, how is his head alone underneath that? Besides Sonic himself, Longclaw is another character I want to mention, as she looks like a realistic owl, not like a cartoonish owl you would expect to see in Sonic's world. My only guess is they wanted to focus on fixing Sonic, and since Longclaw is an original character for the film, no one would be annoyed with her design remaining the same. The echidnas looked really nice for the very little amount of time we saw them, which only looked better when Knuckles showed up in the sequel. Besides the CGI, there are moments where you can clearly see them with a green screen behind them. It's not too difficult to notice, like on top of the building in San Francisco. Besides Hyper Potion at the start of the film and a piano rendition of Green Hill at the end, there was a big lack of Sonic music in the film. Most music sounds like a standard action movie sounding OST. Well, there was the end credits song Speed Me Up with Wiz Khalifa that was good. Not exactly what I call a Sonic song, but it was good. I'm more of a fan of the rock music in games like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Frontiers. Overall, I still feel Sonic the Hedgehog is a fun family movie. While light on elements from the games themselves, this version of Sonic is still very likable and we can understand where he is at the beginning and the end of the story. Human characters are hit or miss with Sonic fans, some people like them, others not so much. I enjoy the Wachowskis and other humans in the film. While not what I go in wanting to see from a Sonic movie, their interactions with him or Robotnik never made me bored for a second. Ben Schwartz did a great job with Sonic, giving him his own twist with the character as this energetic kid that just wants to have fun and hang out with the people around him. Jim Carrey steals the show. From the original trailer to the film's release, his casting at least kept some hope for the film alive. If Paramount didn't change the design, I imagine people would have said, well, at least Jim Carrey was good. James Marsden was also good as Donut Lord, all-around stand-up guy, always there to help others in need, and worked off both Sonic and Robotnik very nicely. While the plot was simple, Sonic and Tom's dynamic was fun to see. It made me interested to see where they would go from here with the sequel, which I imagine I'll cover as well someday. Not big on scoring films, but if I had to, I'd rate Sonic the Hedgehog the movie a 7 out of 10. A good film that, while could have done more to incorporate aspects from the games, does provide a family fun, hour-and-a-half long joyride with a speedy, quippy hedgehog and a funny, maniacal doctor. Now I want to hear from you guys. Looking back at the film or rewatching it recently, how do you feel the movie holds up today? Whether it's on its own or comparing it to the sequel or even other video game movies. If you agree or disagree with me with any aspect of the film, feel free to comment below. I haven't really seen anyone's thoughts on the film since it came out, so I'd love to see your thoughts as well. While you're at it, why not comment your favorite Sonic game? I say mine would be Sonic Unleashed for the 360. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like and I might do another video similar to this on Sonic 2 for its anniversary. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!